All right. So, the Orioles, man, I tell you, the rosters that they're going to have to deal with here shortly are going to be out of this world. They are going to have absolutely no idea what to do if some of these guys keep hitting. You know, if some of these guys keep hitting, these guys are. Mike Elias is going to come out with some crazy roster decisions. I mean, like, let's take, for instance, right? So second base has been open. Jackson Holliday has struggled a little bit, so they had to send him back down. Mateo starts playing better. You've got Westberg that you can move essentially to any position in the infield, and he's going to give you top caliber play. Now you got Connor Norby comes up. You can tell through 8 at-bats that his swing is big league ready. Like he's not, unless he just like completely just gets mental and just loses it at the plate, like he's not going anywhere. And you can already tell that through 8 at-bats. Coming in, struggled his first 2 at-bats. You could tell the nerves and the jitters were there. He didn't sleep very long. Immediately, and I'm talking immediately, you started seeing the adjustments. And it was quick, to putting the bat on the ball, to starting to hit it hard again, to a 9-pitch at bat where every ball he hit was hard, to hitting a home run. Like his mechanics already, you can tell, are major league ready. So he's not going anywhere. Birdland, what's up, man? Norby homered for his first hit and had several quality at-bats. Several. Fouling some balls off and whatnot. He looks like a major leaguer. Completely. Let me move this over here for you guys on Twitter. So, we're texting about it now, Birdland. Like, what do you do? Hayes is playing good again, right? So now you got Hayes that's going to be back in the rotation into the outfield. When Austin's on, Austin's a starting outfielder in the major leagues. There's no question about it. He is a starting outfielder in the major leagues. Now, do you platoon him with Cowser? Cowser's got some really weird splits, and I wish I could pull him up and show you guys. Like, Cowser's average plummeted from April to May, but yet the strikeout rate went down from April to May. The hard hit contact went up from April to May. Using the opposite field went up from April to May. But yet, like, he went from 320 to 180. Like, it's some of the weirdest splits I've ever seen. So, I mean, to me, it's just he's still hitting the ball, obviously, because his hard hit rate went up. He's just in that rut where he's hitting it through guys. He's not a guy that you're even going to question taking out of the lineup right now. So Cowser's your everyday center fielder, right? We'll go with that. Hayes this year is your everyday left fielder. Santander, I'm going to catch some flack for it. I'm not a fan of him playing right field purely over the fact that we have better outfielders. Like fielders, defensive purposes only, I would rather see somebody else out there. Not that Tony can't do it. Obviously, he shows us he can. He makes some diving plays and whatnot. He's not as good as Cowser or Stowers in the outfield, and that's fine. But let's go back to second base, right? Mateo is going to come back. Norby's not giving this job up. I can promise you that right now. Norby is not giving this job up. As great as Mateo was playing, that job might be gone. Plain and simple. So does Mateo move to center field? You started working him in there. And then you platoon Hayes and Cowser. Righty, lefty, whatever. Long term. Let's talk long term here. What do you do with Holliday? Because Westberg is going to win a Gold Glove at third base. I'll throw my money on that right now. He's one of the best defensive gloves in baseball at third base and or second base. I don't even care where you put him. Gunnar Henderson is never coming off shortstop whatsoever. Never. If Norby comes out here and hits, where's their room? Because you're going to give Ryan Mountcastle an extension. Flat out. Ryan Mountcastle will get an extension. So there's your everyday first baseman. Now, him being right-handed, where does Mayo play? Because Mayo's not better than Westberg. Do you move him to first base if you got Mountcastle? Some people will say, oh, just move him to first base and get rid of Mountcastle. No. You just can't. Because Ryan's numbers against the AL East are ridiculous. And you don't know exactly what you have in Mayo. Not to mention that you're moving a guy position-wise, and then you're just going to throw away a Gold Glove caliber first baseman. This entire infield with Mateo, I don't know what Norby's going to bring defensively yet. Remains to be seen, obviously. So we'll say its current state right now with Norby at second base, you have 3 Gold Glove infielders. Now, if Mateo comes back and takes over second base, you have 4 Gold Glove infielders. Throw the catcher in back there, you've got 5. Like, you're not moving anybody. I mean, there's a difference here, right? Ramon Urias just won a Gold Glove 2 years ago, and he doesn't play much anymore. We're past that. Like, the prospects and the players that are currently on this roster right now, Ramon Urias, Jordan Westberg. We'll just cut that out. Mayo's not going to play third base over Westberg ever. I don't care if he hits 75 home runs a year. He's just not playing third base. So, again, now you have another roster crunch coming at first base. Do you trust Kjerstad to be your everyday right fielder? Because you're not giving Santander a contract at the end of the year. Just too much money. The plan for a while was to move him to first base. Okay. Now you've got 3 first basemen. I can promise you, Mike Elias is probably the happiest guy on earth most times of the day. And most times, there's going to be some other times where he's just looking in the mirror like, what the hell have I just done to myself? Because he is going to make a decision at some point and just get destroyed by the casual fan base. I can tell you right now, Jason Lockenfora will be all over the radio show with all his little Muppets on that call into that, hooting and hollering that he should have never traded this guy or he should have traded this guy. It's just going to happen. It's inevitable at this point. And it's almost to the point where you just need to pick one and just say, okay, like you did with Joey Ortiz. Joey's a great player, and I can promise you the Orioles, Mike, Brandon Hyde, wanted to keep Joey and Ortiz. I'm sure the entire organization wanted to keep Joey Ortiz. But you couldn't. You just couldn't. You had to make a decision. Westberg or Ortiz. And right now it's working out for both teams. Putting Holliday in center field. I'm going to catch up here with some chat here real fast, guys. You get a decent month out of Austin Hayes. You flip him for a pitcher. I'd be fine with that. I would. He brings great defense, and we know what kind of hitter he is. I mean, he even down beginning of this season, he's still a career 265 hitter. Like, you're getting an above-average outfielder at the plate and an above-average outfielder defensively. It's very hard to get rid of those guys. Very, very hard. Gossman back to Baltimore. That's a lot of money for a guy that's not pitching that well. And it's not just this year that he's not pitching this well. It's been a while that he hasn't pitched that well. Let me open up Twitter, just make sure nobody's chatting, because I'm relying on something that might not be showing me. So I just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. And or that I'm even live. Okay. I'm going to do a little test. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. All right, I can see that. All right, good. All right, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Gossman. I'm really not. I don't know why. I'm just not. Might not want to hear this. I would dangle him out there to trade, see what kind of pitching teams. You talking about Holliday? I can promise you right now, Jackson Holliday is going to fetch. If it's, I don't ever foresee it happening. If you did it, it's going to fetch probably the biggest haul in Major League history. Yes, Ryan O'Hearn is trade bait in my eyes. He is 100% trade bait. Great hitter. They may ride this season out because he's such a good hitter. But thinking long term, he's just blocking guys. They don't know what to do with him. Luzardo, I don't see coming here. I know there's reports about that. I do not see Luzardo coming here. They're going to ask the world for him, and he's just not worth it. He is worth a Connor Norby. You know, a good prospect, but you know, and honest, I mean, Connor Norby's a top 3 prospect for every team in baseball, and he's what, our number 5 or 6. It just is what it is. The Marlins are going to ask for Basallo, and that's going to be their only ask is Basallo, and they will throw in 5 guys for it, but that's who they want, and that trade is going to get just shot down all the time. And going back, and let's talk again about another roster crunch. Now you have Basallo, 19, 20-year-old kid in Double-A, just absolutely raking. Do you put him up in Triple-A where the new guy you just traded for is doing pretty good? And you got Maverick Hanley, who was, you know, what was he, a 5th-round pick? Got Creed Willems pushing him back underneath in Aberdeen too. Like, oh my Lord. And then the pitching. Like, we talk a lot about our prospects and hitting. Our pitching is this year we're having the roster crunch and potentially miss, you know, into next year. We're going to have that roster crunch with the hitters. Next year and into 2026, we're going to flip completely and have no room for outstanding arms. Bowie is loaded. Absolutely loaded with arms. AAA this year, after McDermott and Povich, trash. Almost every one of them are just trash. They're starting to move these guys up from Bowie, and they're already performing. You're seeing guys going from Delmarva to Aberdeen, already performing. The pitching is vastly underrated in this organization. Every time you look at, you know, these numbers of what farm system's the best, all you hear is about the hitting, the hitters, the hitting prospects, the fielders. That is going to flip here very shortly to pitching. There's a lot of names out there that you're going to want to start keeping an eye on. Aberdeen's even got a couple. De Leon is one that everyone should keep an eye on. The 19-year-old throwing just absolute gas. Just got promoted to Aberdeen. And what kind of sucks, you know, from a fan base standpoint, right? You want to go maybe take the family and go watch some of these guys, but they're all on pitch counts. So you drive, you know, for me, like if I go to Aberdeen, it's like 50 minutes, right? I'm going to go watch De Leon pitch. He's going to get like 3 innings. I mean, at least I get Etzel and Creed Willems to watch after that. But like, I'm going there to watch a guy throw a baseball, and he's going to get like 60 pitches. Like, it just is what it is. That's the downfall of the lower level minor leagues. Daniel Jackson, what's that? Who's that? So, I mean, it just is what it is. Like, it's the Orioles are in I don't want to say a bad spot, but they're in a rough spot. Like, it sounds really, really good. But put yourself in Mike Elias's shoes for just 1 minute. Like, you're the guy that's going to have to make the call of which one of these top end players gets traded, because we don't have room. You could cut the whole team right now and have another team ready to go. And obviously you're not going to do that because they're all young and they're all just been called up in the last year and a half, 2 years. It just is what it is. I think you start seeing a little bit more movement in the bullpen here shortly for the options. Right now they're just limited to what they got to what they got. And we saw it back in the Buck Showalter days. I think every GM likes versatility in the bullpen, being able to send guys up, moving in and out. If the guy gets a little tired, I can move him down. Same with the starting rotation. It did it with Grayson a couple times. Don't let him fool you with that. Let me send him down real quick, and I'm going to pull bullpen arm up for a couple days, and then on his fifth day when he's supposed to start again, I'm going to bring him right back. Like, they manipulate this stuff a lot, and right now they don't have the flexibility to do that, and I think it's driving them nuts, and especially in this kind of schedule. But the roster is just, it's wild to me. And I can sit here and text my buddies all night and try and figure out like who's going to move where and who's going to do this and what option do we have here. And then, you get a guy hit on the head and then another guy just gets a chance because of an injury. And I can promise you he ain't letting it go. Like, now what do you do? That's what you want. But what do you do? It's a question that we're all literally sitting by our phone every single day just waiting for that random text or Twitter alert at 1 p.m. for a trade because we all know it's coming. And at this point, the only thing you can do is just pray that it's the right guy. It's the right move. It pans out. Remember when Hernandez was traded for Cole Irvin and everybody hated Cole Irvin in the beginning? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. If that person that gets traded for one of these top prospects doesn't perform immediately, I might even go on Twitter that day. I can promise you that. It's pitchers don't pitch anymore. Yes, I agree with that, Birdland. He says, hot take, pitchers don't pitch anymore. They just throw gas. I agree. A lot of them don't locate. Splash for Norby's first home run. It was, man. I really, really liked his mechanics. From the first at bat where you could just tell he was so excited to be there and just let that fastball go right down the middle, to the second bat, just, hey, welcome to the major leagues. Here's a splitter that drops a foot off the table and you swung through it, to just watching him progress every at bat. Nothing was pressed in his swing. Everything was calm, cool, and collected. The hands were fast, fouling pitches off, fighting in the box tonight, hitting a couple balls hard, and then boom. An effortless swing for a home run. Effortless. It's like I said, the mechanics are there. That right there, Norby, a lot of guys that have watched him, that's like, I don't want to compare him to Jordan Westberg because it's a completely different mindset of a player, but it's the same type of player, if you get what I'm trying to say. So we all know that Westberg is that grinded out guy. Like, he's not impossible to strike out, but he's a very tough out with 2 strikes. He's leading the league in average with 2 strikes. Like, that's what you're getting out of Norby too. Is I'm going to stick my nose in there, and I don't care how hard you're throwing, how good your stuff is. I'm going to swing at him, I'm going to foul it off, and I'm going to get everything I got. I'm going to lay out 100 times a game. Like, you're looking at gamers. Gunner, same conversation. Gamers. They're not flashy. They're not out here wearing 75 chains, right? They're just, if that ball's in the dirt, they're going to lay out and they're going to go get it. And those are the guys that you want on your field 100% of the time. Like, it's the same conversation that Austin Hayes is in. That's just what they want. Certain guys it's called the it factor. Certain guys have it, some don't. And you can still be a good player and not have it. But those guys with the it factor usually turn out to be exceptionally good ball players. Exceptionally. And you can tell Connor Norby's got it. I wish I could explain to you what it is, but it's just when you watch a ball player, you can figure out what it is when you watch them. What are my all-star predictions for players? That's a very good question. I think you can 100% pencil in Gunner. You can 100% pencil in Adley. 100% pencil in Westberg. Burns, probably for sure. And Cole Irvin might squeak in. Might. Not 100% sure on it. Outside of Baltimore, he's still not really recognized. Even though he's a fantastic year. But I think you can pencil in 100% 4. I think there's going to be a fifth that squeaks in. It's either going to be Irvin or somebody's going to get hot right at the last minute. Whether that be, it's going to be like a manager's choice. So whether that be, Mountcastle or I would say maybe Mateo, but I don't know. Hell, Austin Hayes could catch fire and, hit 380 this month. Who knows, right? So I'm going to say 100% 4 up to 6. I'd put my money on 5 for sure. I think Mountcastle might finally get a phone call. And I tell you what, how fun would it be to watch Ryan Mount? I hate the guys. I hate when they do it because it does mess the swing up. But how fun would it be to watch Ryan Mountcastle in a home run derby? Because he's just funny, right? He's going to make a joke about it, but he's going to lock in and just hit bombs. Like, I personally think he would give a lot of guys a run for their money because he's got some serious pop, and it's just a quick swing. So that'd be fun to watch, wouldn't it? A month ago, I did a YouTube short saying we were all going to get 4: Adley, Gunnar, Westberg, and Kauser. 3 of the 4 is not bad. Yes, yeah, I think Westberg is a shoe-in for me, and so is Gunnar, obviously. Adley, Perez is just off the charts this year. So if Adley doesn't make it, it's because it's not he wasn't deserving. It's because Perez is just that damn good right now. I still think he gets in. If he's not voted in by the fans, I think he would probably be a manager's pick. Yeah, definitely 4. Definitely 4. Splash, who would you send if you were to vote right now? Like, if you had to cast your vote, who would you send from the Orioles? But man, I'm speechless even trying to think about what's even going through Mike Elias's mind. Like, and honestly, I was getting ready to do a video before I even hit live, right? I've been reading up on Riley Cooper. And if you guys don't even know who Riley Cooper is, you might want to check him out, right? So he pitched for LSU last year, dominant reliever. He's on the heavier side. It doesn't bother me. I mean, Lance Lynn's still out here serving up meatballs to big league hitters, but then still getting some guys out too. Riley is unmatched in Delmarva. An older guy. I think he's 22. I could be wrong. Let me double check here on the age. What is he here? 22. So I was right. All right. So he's turning 23 in October. But in Delmarva this year, he's got a 2.68 ERA. 2.68 ERA. Right? Pitched in 10 games. He's got 1 save. He's got 2 starts. 37 innings. Only given up 33 hits. 11 earned runs. Only 1 home run. And 42 strikeouts. 42 in 37 innings. To 12 walks. Whip at a 1.2. Not the greatest you want to see. It's respectable. So in 3 college seasons, got a 4.4 ERA, 3 saves. 91 games pitched, 6 starts. So he's predominantly a reliever. Unmatched in Delmarva, in my opinion. Unmatched. The guy needs to move up. I don't know if they have room to even move him up. Here's the issue. He's 6'2", 270. So there's concerns about his weight. Move him up. There's no concerns about his stuff. Move him up. Worry about the weight this offseason. Because right now you need to see if that stuff can play in Double-A, potentially. I'm not saying move him straight from Delmarva to Double-A. Put him up in Aberdeen and see what he's got. If you got the room. We know how loaded this farm system is. If you got the room, I want to see him be challenged. Because he was getting some of the best hitters in the country out, and then you're just going to put him in Delmarva. You know, Delmarva's a lot of like 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds. I'm not interested. I'm just not. The 13th round pick. I get it. Wasn't high, but he's high enough, and he's producing. Like, I want to see him move. Splash said he would take Gunnar, Westberg, Mountcastle, Burns, and Rutschman. Okay, so we're on the same page. Potentially 5. I changed my lights since last stream. Yeah, I went with more of like an orange look. And then I added this strip here. And then I can customize that on my own. But yeah, I mean, that's just another arm. De La Cruz, I want to pull him up here real quick because he just got promoted. A lot of guys don't know about this. He's a very young kid, and he's just throwing the hell out of the ball. I got to check on Carter Balmer, too. I forgot he was even around. Luis De Leon. I said De La Cruz. I'm sorry. De Leon, 6'3", 170. He's 21-year-old. He's the left-handed pitcher. He's the upper 90s. So in 2024, he's got a 2.5 ERA from Delmarva with 9 stars, 39 innings pitched with 54 strikeouts, and a 1.00 whip. He's fantastic. So he's made 2 appearances so far with Aberdeen. How many innings have he gone? He's gone 7 1/3 total between 2 games. So he's given up 8 total hits, only 3 runs, 7 Ks, and 1 walk. Opponents hitting 260 against him. So another guy, like, keep your eye out for this dude's name. Luis De Leon. Very, very good. Carter Balmer, wasn't he the guy? Yeah, he's the one that had the Tommy John. So he's this far this year. He's got a 4 ERA. He's 3-1 with a 4 ERA, 18 innings pitched, 15 Ks. I'm pretty sure they've probably told him, chill out on the off speed, focus on your fastball. Because he's kind of coming around. That is another one of the arms that we're talking about here. There's a few other ones. Is it Sharkey? Oh, he's out for the year. Never mind. It's not him. How's Verbitsky doing? He's too old to be down there. So if we go to Bowie, right? Let me tell you about some of these guys that we have at Bowie. Trace Bright is a name that you're going to want to remember. Who was this other one? Seth Johnson just pitched earlier. Fantastic. What are some of the other guys? Let's see, pitching. All right, so Bronovich is 4-1 with a 3.2 ERA. 44 innings pitched, 55 Ks, below a 1 whip. And he is, how old is he? Like 23? 26, sorry. So he's almost ready to be a bullpen contributor. Then you got Trace Bright. Trace is one of my favorites. He's 0-4 with a 3.6 ERA, 45 innings pitched, 55 Ks, a 1.11 whip. Giving up 5 home runs. I'm okay with that. Who's this next one here? Oh, what happened here? Seth Johnson, one I was just telling you about. So 0-4 with a 3 flat ERA, 39 Ks in 35 innings. Again, he's another guy coming off of Tommy John. And then Brandon Young here, I believe was just recently sent up to AAA. He's 25, 6'6", almost 6'7". He's 1-1 or 1-2 with a 3.9 ERA, 46 Ks in 32 innings. So these guys are they're pumping the ball by dudes. Could I put Seth Johnson? You're going to see Seth Johnson by this year. If not this year, next year. 100%. He was regarded as one of the better arms in minor league baseball prior to getting hurt and getting traded over here. He's going to be pretty solid for us. Who else do we got here that's pitching pretty well? Cam Weston, Trey McGow, 25 Ks through 19 innings. Again, he's 26. Some of them guys are getting a little bit older, but the big one to keep an eye on is Trace Bright. He's 23. Again, Seth Johnson's 25. He's been sitting out for a little while. Carter Balmer, 22. He's down in Aberdeen, but the pitching depth is becoming loaded just as well as the hitters. The problem with the pitching is, right, you're not going to see the crazy numbers that you would see from a hitter, especially with the International League. A lot of people don't know this. So Norfolk, when you look at guys with like crazy hitting stats from Norfolk, I don't want to say they're inflated, but it's a hitter's league. Like everyone in that league hits. That's why you always see like crazy crooked numbers. And then they get to the bigs and it's like, they're just good players, not great players. That's just what Norfolk is. And that's why you'll also see guys like Albert Suarez with a 10 ERA, and then he comes to the big leagues and he's got, a 1? It just is what it is. There's a lot of GMs don't really put a ton of stock into the stats from the International League. They just want to see like your stuff, your mechanics. How are you fighting off pitches? Do you have a hole in your swing? That they're looking for more of that stuff. You're still being presented with things to work on. So AAA stats from that International League are kind of null and void. You mainly want to look at what a guy does, for us in particular, at Bowie. Bowie's a little harder of a league to hit in. So if you got a guy that's actually who's just hitting, that's a guy you want to start keeping your eye on. This Bowie team's got plenty of them. Absolutely plenty of them. Fabian. And you can go down the line here. So you got Basalo's already got 8 home runs, hitting 285. Fabian's he got 8 home runs. He's a future center fielder in the big leagues. He's only hitting 221 right now. He is a future big league player. Dylan Beavers has got 7 home runs, already hitting 272. Another future big league player. TT Bowens to me is really, really interesting. TT Bowens was a undrafted free agent for the Orioles. Got 6 home runs in AA, hitting 276. Like, this guy can flat out hit. But he's 26 years old and he plays first base. And he's right-handed. What do you do? That's a guy that is likely either going to be a career minor leaguer because he plays for the Orioles, or he gets traded and they just hope that, they can fit him into a trade to get him some. He's a potential big league player. I wouldn't say he's probably a starter in the big leagues, but he's a potential big league player. That they don't have room for him whatsoever. Anthony Servadito, he hasn't really panned out to his draft status. He was a high round pick. He's only hitting 200. Frederick Bensicum is another name you want to keep an eye out for. He's a 21-year-old shortstop in Bowie. He's currently only hitting 235, but this kid's tools are off the chart. Again, another infielder that we're going to see potentially be big league ready in the next 2 years. So it's it's just nonstop with this team. Just absolutely nonstop. Some other guys that I would like to see do a little bit better. I'm honestly a little, I want to say concerned, but I don't like what I see out of Max Wagner. When we drafted Max Wagner, I was probably the happiest guy on earth. Max demolished the ball at Clemson, and he was a second-round pick. Absolutely demolished the ball, but he's already had 545 career minor league at-bats. He's hitting 230. He's got 65 at-bats in AA. He's hitting 169. This was a guy that I envisioned seeing in the big leagues within like 3 years after being drafted, and he is not close. Not saying that it's not going to happen. It's just not close. So far in 2024, I think he got hurt, so he started a little bit on rookie ball. Started in high A, he was hitting 278, and they moved him up double A. Like I say, he's hitting 116. But they see something in him to move him up. So I'm going to go with that, and we're going to hope that it pans out. Remember, Bowie is a harder place to hit. So we're just going to hope that works out. You've got other guys kind of waiting. Mac Horvath, that was a guy that I've been waiting for to see what he does, because I like Mac Horvath a lot. Again, at a UNC, played infield, played outfield, big-time hitter. That was a guy that I really wanted to see kind of fly up through the system. Just hasn't happened yet. So, I mean, and we're looking down at Aberdeen. Creed Willems started off really, really hot. He's still got 9 home runs, but his average dipped down to about 213 now. It's going to happen with a catcher. So Mac is hitting. Listen, I'm extremely high on Mac Horvath. He's hitting 201. This was one of the better college hitters in the 2023 draft. And he's hitting 201 in the high A. So XGen, what up, dude? How you doing, buddy? So we'll see. I mean, there's some guys. Josenberger's hitting 209. I don't know what happened to Hudson Haskins. 205. Bradfield's up to 258. I'm going to eat my words on that one. He's hitting 258 with 25 steals. Jalen Vasquez has 18 steals, hitting 225. Damn, they've run a lot here. Josenberger's got 23 steals. Horvath's got 13. Etzel's got 27. These dudes run down there in Aberdeen. Carter Young is another one that I was really, really high on. Now he's 23. It was a Vanderbilt player, right? So this was he was a defensive guy in college, but playing at Vanderbilt, you would kind of expect a little bit more offense. Hitting 123 right now in Aberdeen through 138 at-bats. So that clock's ticking. Now, his first year in 2022 hit 253. Last year, between two different teams, Delmarva hit 236. Aberdeen hit 293. So maybe he's just scuffling a little bit. We'll see. But I'd like to see him kind of figure it out. Not that we need another middle infielder, but would love to see it kind of happen. I don't know. But what do you guys think? There's just a lot of guys. A lot of them. And I don't want to get too attached to a lot of these guys because, like I said, we have so many players, and it's going to get to a point that somebody like a Frederick Bensincombe is going to have to go. A 21-year-old phenomenal defensive shortstop who can hit pretty decent and run. And he's going to turn into like a Daryl Hernandez. You know? You're going to have somebody just like Joey Ortiz. Obviously not as good. He's one of the best defensive gloves in all of baseball. But a caliber type of player like that, be traded. Just be prepared. That's all I can tell the fan base is just be prepared for somebody that you think is really good to be shipped out. And it's not because the Orioles don't think they're just as good. They do. They don't have room. At any position on the field, they don't have room. They potentially don't have room at any infield position for the number 1 or 2 overall prospect in baseball. Potentially. I didn't even talk about Cedric Mullins. I don't even think he's on the team much longer. And that's a fan favorite. People are going to lose their mind if he gets sent down to AAA. He's got 2 options left. People are going to lose their mind. It's just they're in a state where like you got to produce. You know, we're not in 21 or 22 anymore. This team has World Series aspirations, and you can only wait so long. I'll say my prayers every night. You know, I'll get down right next to the bedside and I'll pray for Mullins to figure it out. But that's about it. I mean, he is the odd man out right now because you got Cowser that can play center. You're going to move Mateo potentially to center. Connor Norby plays the corner outfield positions. And so again, we're going to piss the fan base off. Kyle Stowers likely gets sent down when Mateo comes back. Not Mullins. Mullins is probably the ideal choice. People still think he plays good defense. I get it. It's going to be Stowers. I don't know. Does he deserve it? No. He deserves to be in the big leagues. He's a big league ball player. I think they're auditioning him right now for a trade. Another thing that's going to piss the fans off is what it is. What do I mean by sent down, XGen? So each major league team has a farm system where they have what's called rookie ball. You got high A, double A, triple A. And you have options until you hit your 6th year in the big leagues. You have options to be sent back down to the minors. And when I say he has 2 options left, like they could send him back to the minors, and because you're only allowed to have 13 position players, and we have so many guys that play, they're just so versatile. You don't need to be kind of limited by a guy who's just not hitting. So it's just a lot of really tough decisions that are on the way. But yeah, logically, I think we see Stowers get sent down. And like I said, unless Norby really craps the bed here the next 5 days, I think Stowers is probably the guy that are going to say, I'm sorry. I don't have room to get you every day at bats, which I get to an extent, but he's a major league outfielder defensively, got a major league arm. You know, he's taken very good at bats. It's going to be a tough call. It's either Mullins or Stowers. Maybe Urias. I don't see it, but maybe Urias as a DFA. How you DFA somebody that won a Gold Glove, I don't know. I don't know if they can. I think they would try everything in their power to trade him, which we all know isn't very likely. But I think you're going to look at guys with options first, and that's going to be Stowers. Norby might even just say, like, sorry, bud. I don't know. I don't want to be Mike Elias. I could promise you that. I would never be able to make these decisions. They don't have a choice? No, they don't. Not for their first 6 years with the team. You can be sent up and down multiple times. But it's not all doom and gloom, because once you're on the big league team, you're put on what's called the 40-man roster. So your base pay, say if you were in AAA, is like $30,000, $35,000, something like that a year. If you get put on the 40-man roster, your base pay gets jumped up to, I think it's over $700,000 now for league minimum. So it's not a bad thing. So even if you get sent back down to the minor leagues, you're still in the 40-man, you're still making the same money. So it's not terrible. Mullins still has 2 years arbitration left, so no, he has not. He's been in the system for longer than 6. Yes, he has not been in the big leagues for longer than 6, so he still has 2 options left. So it's the new CBA rules changed. I'm not 100% versed in them, but not what they used to be. It used to be you only get like, I think 5 or 6 options. Now you get 3, but you get unlimited per, it's like 3 years. And you get unlimited options per year, only 3 times out of the 6. So it's confusing the way to read it though. Actually, it's funny you say that. So should they do that in other sports? Other sports don't really have like a minor league team. They don't have like feeder teams. So like take the NFL, right? If a guy gets hurt, they don't have somebody they can just like call up. They have practice squads, and they do kind of the same thing, where you make good money. And then when you get promoted to the active roster, you make more. They do the same kind of thing. But baseball has like legit leagues and teams. Like it's way deeper. Brain tricky. Yeah. So I mean, you literally could point at every position on the field and just within 2 years, you're gonna have a crazy decision to make. I mean, hell, I'm gonna throw a hypothetical out there. What if Samuel Basallo continues to hit 35 home runs a year at plus 280 an average? We've seen, not everybody's seen it, but I have seen the videos of him throwing guys out defensively at Bowie. Fantastic arm. It's better than Adley's. Defensively, he's right there with Adley, with a better arm and potential 35 home run power. He's going to stay behind the plate. There's no questions asked. He's not being moved. So you're just giving yourself another issue to worry about. Adley hits better when he doesn't catch, which is cool. Do you want him to put on 30 more pounds and be a full-time DH? I don't know. He created the minor league system. Oh, cool. Yeah, I didn't know about that. Yeah, I mean, look, all across the field, there is something that you can look at and say, like first base. I mean, literally, first base. You got Ryan Mountcastle. You're likely going to extend him, but you've got Kobe Mayo and Heston Kjerstad that are going to move there. And Dylan Beavers has been playing first base a lot, and he's a fantastic player. Let's go to second base. Holliday, Mateo, Norby, potentially maybe Westberg, depending on how good Mayo plays third. Shortstop is the only position I believe you don't have any kind of issue at all. Nobody's threatening Gunnar Henderson for his job. Third base is Jordan Westberg, but can Mayo play third base at the big league level? It's a question, remains to be seen there. Left field, we've got, 3 guys? Hayes, Cowser, Stowers, potentially Kjerstad, potentially Beavers. Center field, right currently, Mullins, Cowser, potentially Judd Fabian, potentially Dylan Beavers, potentially Jackson Holliday, potentially Jorge Mateo. And then right field, you got right now Santander with Kjerstad waiting, Stowers, potentially again Beavers. It's just nonstop. Norby can also play left field and right field. You're looking at a guy right now like Ryan O'Hearn. He's hitting close to 300. He's loved in the clubhouse. Everybody loves him in the fan base. What do you do with him after this year? That's just the reality of it at this point. Do you continue to pay him? Now, granted, he's very affordable for the production that you're getting. So if they would go and pick up his option and extend him, I'm happy. If he continues to just hit against right-handed pitching in a DH first base role, whatever. You're just blocking another guy for another year at that point. But at least you're getting a guaranteed guy that's going to hit the ball hard. So yeah, it's just there's question marks all over the field. I don't know if there's another organization that has the problems that we do. There's organizations that believe they have players that we do. like the Tigers, and then they pull them up and realize that they stink, and they tanked for nothing. I didn't say that aloud. Slightly different topic. I don't think it would cost much. If the Orioles would try and bring out Kyle Gibson, no, absolutely not. He was not good enough here to worry about bringing him back. He's making, $12 million this year. Serviceable. I don't think we're in the market for serviceable anymore. Our serviceable at this point is Dean Kramer. And I would say that Kramer is head and shoulders better than Gibson. Can we make it in the mayor of Baltimore so he can win the election? No. Speaking of Ryan Hearn, by the way, I love a Hearn. I really do. Good dude. Just all over the field with just question marks. And it's a topic that a lot of people are going to want to stay away from, but like, it's been a long time for Cedric Mullins. Let me pull this up and tell you guys. It's been a very long time, and the leash has been very, very long. And it might be time. We all love the guy. He was here when we all stunk. He was a bright spot for us. And I still wish that he breaks out of it, right? I don't even want to have this conversation. But, so let me go back to the end of 23. So we'll pull his splits up at the end of 23. So in August, coming back from injury, he had 69 plate appearances at 188. September and October, he had 100 plate appearances, hit 191. So 188, 191. Move on to this year. Actually, let's not even do that. Let's go to his career. Rodrigo was okay. I would never put him in this rotation either. He was okay. He was serviceable for that time period, but his stuff wouldn't play in today's game. It has no movement. Today's hitters would just annihilate him. All right, so the last 365 days. So we're looking at the last 410 plate appearances for Cedric. He's hitting 194 with 20 walks to 106 strikeouts. 106 strikeouts. It's bad. And like I said, it's going to come down to a time where we need to just suck it up and figure it out. You can only hope and pray for so long. But 106 strikeouts. Now, granted, 13 home runs, 57 RBIs. It's cool. 17 steals, 3 caught. It's all fine and dandy. It's 106 strikeouts and 376 plate appearances. On base percentage, 243, OPS 583. His career OPS has fallen below DJ Stewart. DJ Stewart, the guy that we all hated, right? This is a guy with a 30-30 season and has fallen below one of the worst outfield prospects the Orioles have ever had. I hate to even say that. That sounds so mean. But it's just honest. Like, eventually, Hyde is such a I don't even know what the word that I'm looking for here. Such a loyal manager. And that's why the guys absolutely love him. He's loyal as shit. Almost too loyal. That's the problem. He's almost too loyal. It's just rough, man. Like, I remember when they told Cedric to stop hitting right-handed because he was so good left-handed. But like, I'm at that point where it might just be like, hey, start hitting right-handed again, because you're only hitting 212 against lefties in your entire career, but you're hitting 263 against righties. Like, why not just go back, try to look? I'm not saying it's easy to just pick it back up and try it again, but fuck, try it. What else could be bad right about now? Just try it. It's just It's tough going. It's tough going. What concerns me in his career stats is he, in his career, gets worse as the year goes on. The walk rates go down, the strikeout rates go up. And they're already astronomical. So it's just scary. But career, he's the 323 hitter in June. So if you're going to play him, it's now. Play him right now. June, July, August, he's a very respectable hitter. So if you're going to do it now. He's terrible in April in his career. 440 at bats, he's hitting 230. May, also terrible. 390 at bats, hitting 230. 239. So in April, May, he career-wise sucks. Flat out. But June, he's a 323 hitter and then 269, 268. So if you're going to play him, now's the time to do it. And I've said it before to a couple different people. Send this guy home for a week. I don't care if it's a concussion protocol. I don't care if it's a sprained ankle. Like, just tell him, Cedric, hey, take your wife, take your child, go to the beach for a week, relax, and then meet us wherever we're going on a road trip and come back ready to play. That's just me. I think this guy needs a reset. Just mentally. New baby in the home. First time being away from the wife and the baby and stuff. It's mentally draining on a man. And it's okay. So just send him home. Just let him push the reset button and see where we can go. Because I'd like for that to happen before it got to a point where you had to send him down. Because we all want him to stay. We really do. We want Cedric Mullins to stay here. So just send him home. Let him just chill. And we'll go from there. Hopefully they do that soon. And or fix him soon. But, I mean, hey, maybe he does need to go back to the leadoff spot. I mean, when I'm looking here at his career stats, first batter of the game, he's hitting 274, 16 home runs. Leading off an inning, he's only hitting 250. So he likes being the first batter of a game. 262 career hitter in the leadoff spot total. Batting sixth, he's a career 265 hitter. And this is through... Damn, he almost put 1,700 at bats in, batting leadoff, and it was hitting 262. Maybe they need to go back to that because 158 at bats, he's pathetic, hitting 200 in the ninth hole. Batting eighth, 74 at bats, hitting 254. Batting seventh, 123 at bats, hitting 223. Batting sixth, hitting 265. So it's either first or sixth. Gunnar absolutely has to go, in my opinion, has to go to third in the order. I don't care if people say you want to hit your best hitter leadoff. You don't. You want this guy the chance to win an MVP, and you want him to hit 150 RBIs. You put him in the 3-hole. But so look, this is where stats are fun to me, right? So a lot of people complain about Cedric Mullins swinging at the first pitch all the time. When he swings at the first pitch of a bat, he's done it 696 at bats. Hitting 295 in his career, swinging at the first pitch of an at-bat. Now, that's not saying that they got a hit. It was just that he swung at the first pitch. When he takes the first pitch, he's taken the first pitch in 1,400 at-bats, 1,458 to be exact. He's hitting 230. So I promise you the Orioles know this. And this is why that he is one of the guys that swings at the first pitch a lot and gets just destroyed by the fans for doing it. Take a pitch. This is why he doesn't. Some guys just, they want to pounce early on that get me over fastball, and he's a guy that does it. These are the kind of things that people need to see more. But, yeah. So even though here, so count balls and strikes. First pitch of the at-bat, hitting 358 in his career. 285 at-bats. 13 home runs, 39 RBIs, hitting 358. 2-0 count, hitting 300. 3-0 count, hitting 500. Is this only for... Ain't no way. Is this only for this year? What did I do here? I thought this was career. He's only had 2 at-bats in his career, 3-0 count. Ain't no damn way. Wow. 1 for 2. This is weird. So he's got 43 plate appearances, but there's only 2 full bats. So, okay. So I'm guessing that he's walked, and it kind of negates those. Okay. That makes sense. All right. 1-1 count. He's hitting 420. 2-1 counts. So the counts in his favor. He's doing great. 3-1 count. We're hitting 200. That's pretty pathetic. 1-2 count hit 144. 2-2 count hit 137. Okay. So anything after a 3-0 count, he's hitting 143. Oof. Just rough. Just rough. Hitting 172 of the pitchers ever had in the count in his career. It's rough. But, I mean, you know, like I said, it is what it is. I'm going to hop off. I got to go to bed. Holy hell, it's 10:50. I got to get up 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. Splash Birdland over on YouTube. Anybody on Twitter that didn't say anything but was hanging out for a while, I highly appreciate it. If you guys are new here, hit that sub button. I appreciate it. And I will be back on here, kind of do as much content as we can. Like I said, my next video is probably going to be about Riley Cooper. And, XGen, you too. Thanks for hanging out, buddy. I apologize. Not calling you out there. You slid up my list on me and I missed it. I'm sorry, brother. But yeah, so all you guys hanging out tonight. Yeah, so next video we're going to be about Riley Cooper, and then maybe some of these other prospects, and then we'll kind of just go from there and then see what we can get going. I got to get the content rolling out here. But all right, fellas, I hope you all have a fantastic evening. Think about some of these roster moves that the Orioles potentially could do. Hit them with me on in the comments section, Twitter. I don't care. I mean, let's talk about it. I love hearing other people's ideas. So I'll catch you all later.